Be your own boss. Let's get started with this, and then we can talk about this later, or you can schedule an appointment with me. Going to gngdesign.life. You can download a free PDF of how you get started. A free guide to kind of overcoming the obstacles of starting your own business. Okay, a little bit about me. If you attended last month's Be Your Own Boss, I was born and raised in Fort Worth. Graduated from University of Texas Arlington as an aerospace engineer. Traveled, basically was a traveling engineer for 5 to 10 years, and then wound up in Pennsylvania, near Philadelphia, with my wife and daughter in my world. Other hobbies is reading, 3D printing. I'll do a lot of modeling, and video games, and very dedicated to my family and legacy. What you'll learn today will be the 4 quadrants of earned income, essential things that make up ideal business, signs that it's time to change, gain perspective and what are the next steps, and finally, discovering how to harness the energy needed to transition to new higher heights. 4 income quadrants. I think everybody recognizes the one that most people are doing is just exchanging your time for money. That's basically doing a task and you receive income from it. That's an untypical having a job, having a career, climbing the ladder, being in an actual desk and office environment, whether it be remote or being in an office. That's the majority of folks do that, to trade their time for money. Next is self-employed. It's basically creating your own business, creating your own service, brick and mortar. You have a hardware store, or you have hardware store, grocery store, somewhere where you're just like behind a red cash register. You have employees coming, or customers coming through the door. They're buying your product, or maybe they're coming in and bringing in a computer for repairs. That's that's kind of just a self-employed. You could have a plumbing business. You could have a heating business, a repairing, electrician, any number of such things that maybe even basic cutting lawn care. Those are self-employed income. So that's basically still trading time for money. You may have employees. So you have a little bit more burden on you to support those individuals, as well as their time is spent for money. But you have to pay it. You have to take care of the payroll. Very, very time oriented. And as you'll see, this side of the quad chart is basically exchanging your time for money. And it's a limit. There's a limit of the time you have that you want to spend on this to gain income. And there's a limitation as far as how much you can get out of it, because there is norms, and there is I guess value that you can actually get from your customers, because they're actually value for your time, regardless of whether or not it's employee or self-employed. The next one is if you have money, you can make more money with investments. So you have to have a little bit of money, and then you can go online and invest, either through a bank and a savings account. That's probably the easiest way to do it. And usually the bank is going out and trying to get investors or projects within your community, and there's a 5%, 10% return on that. You can become a trader, which is basically stocks. You can basically trade investments, trade into stocks, analyze companies, taking into account, how long is that, how long are you going to spend on that? Because sometimes that's still trading time for money indirectly, but you still have to have money up front to be able to gain money back. And then you got to hedge your bets of when to close out, when to, have short-term gains, long-term gains. Uh, it really is a proposition of trading time or trading money for money, gaining a little bit back. But if you have larger sums of money, in the hundreds of millions or hundreds of thousands, that tends to will get you, 5 to 10% return. So that gives you 100,000 to 100 to 10,000, depending on the trade, depending on the term of the trade between short and long. A lot of people do that. It's you really have to have a lot of patience and a lot of risk taking, because a lot of risk taking could get you up to 100%, but that's fleeting, and you always have to go on to the next thing. You have to be very diligent. The final quadrant is becoming a business owner. So the best ones I can describe on this is McDonald's, franchises, restaurants, affiliated marketing, products that you can sell online, uh, very system oriented. If you can get into a system that generates revenue with very little input, and that's what I mean, you own a system. So, case in point, McDonald's again, that was established back in the 50s. And so they came up with this idea, which was new at the time, which is franchise. So this a couple of brothers who started the original McDonald's, there was a guy who brought in their milkshake machines and says, "Hey, I'd love to be able to build another um, um, restaurant of your caliber at a different location." So he took the idea of what they were doing, how they were making hamburgers, how they were making their fries, and he turned it into a system. So he bought that from him. The guy who actually bought it, started McDonald's, is the one that franchised it and is making all the money. So he franchised it. He leased it out to other folks. He helped them build their buildings. He helped them set up the floor plan of the restaurant. He told them how to make, hamburgers. He told them how to make fries. He told them how to make milkshakes, and basically a whole operation in itself, and train people to do that, right? Train the owners of the new franchises. So they had to buy their way in, but in the end, if they had the right location, the right merchandise, and the right system, well, they can basically reap from that. And then the franchisee who franchised it out is making a little bit from all of these franchises that he's leased it out to. So that's a system. So you're selling the system to individuals. And that's the quadrant typically you want to get to, because that means that you can, if you have a lot of franchises, it can actually double. And so it's not dependent on time that you're spending. It's totally dependent on the franchises that you generate. So if you have a good product that everybody wants and that everybody wants to have, that's the ultimate business that you can possibly obtain. And most corporations are built on that. Ideal business. What is an ideal business? Well, first you sell a product to the world. Who want to sell to the world, to 6 billion people, or now 8 billion people. That's an awesome market. That's the max market that you can get to. So having multiple countries, selling across globe, selling overseas. I mean, if you just look at the continental, selling to Canada, selling to Mexico, selling to all 48 continental states plus Alaska and Hawaii. That's the ultimate, um, ultimate selling to the world. That's the market you'd like to have. It's unlimited as far as it goes for an individual. I mean, you can make a lot of money, but there has to be a comfort zone of what is that value that you're looking for. The next would be inelastic demand. Something that always comes back around, just like McDonald's. All right, everybody eats every day. So the products that you're offering, the services you're offering, they're always coming back to buy it again. Unique products. You're selling to specific markets that you have to get that market where everybody buys it. Something that they can't live without. Low labor requirements, right? So having no employees is the best thing you can have. Having, very little overhead is the best thing you can have. That's why a lot of times the B quadrant is the best place to be to a certain extent. Low overhead. It goes back to wouldn't it be nice that you have a website set up and you can monitor the sales. You can be on your phone and do it anywhere, right? That's anywhere, wherever you are, the store is open, right? Open mouth, open store. That's the best thing. So that lowers your overhead. That's the top 5. There's others, but that's the main ones that you look for. So what is the signs? When do you know that maybe there's your time to start a business? Well, are you frustrated with your current position? Are you frustrated with the current situation that your role or job entails? You see no way out. You see no other options that you have. You're looking for something better. You're always wanting to grow. You identify yourself too much with your role. You've locked yourself into what you do rather than who you are. And no one in your circle, no one in your employee colleagues are willing to help, right? They're all fighting for themselves. They're all fighting up the corporate ladder. They're all fighting for that next role that pays them more. So a lot of times you may think they're friends, but they're really not. A lot of times they may be thinking they're mentors of you, but you gotta look at, would somebody who's a real estate agent, would they ever train somebody to replace them? If you're a doctor that has a doctor's office, would they want to hire somebody that basically would replace them as a doctor of the office? Well, I don't think so. I don't think that unless they're going to retire, but those are, far and fleeting situations that you can get into. Even a plumber, right? A person who owns a plumbing shop, he wants to run the plumbing shop. He doesn't necessarily want to give over to the next plumber he hires, because he needs to make income. Unless you're willing to sell it, but then you have to have money to be able to buy the plumbing shop from them. So you got to look for those type of things, and then are you in any of those things? So you have to ask yourself that. What is it? Where am I at? What situation I'm in? And then what next step? Make the choice. It's your choice to go and review this. Have no regrets. Once you've established that you want a business, by all means, go for it. Don't hold back, because if you hold back, you may be too comfortable in the role of a career and may not have anything else that you can possibly do. And what does it take? Well, turn I can't to I can. It takes grit, it takes determination, it takes drive, it takes a dream, and it also takes a why. Why are you doing it? That's a leap of faith. Just a leap. You figure it out on the way down to get your parachute open. It takes somebody who does that. With that, I have a free guide that you can find on at gngdesign.life. You can also register with that, and you can look at that. And also to schedule a call. There's also a link on the website to schedule a call with me, and we can go into more details for you and being able to, are you at that position? What options do you have? And are you willing to put in the effort to do that? If if you say, yes, I'm frustrated with my current position. Yes, I'm out of options. I don't have anybody that can help me. And yes, I'm willing to put in the time. If you answer yes to all those questions, then by all means, schedule a call at gngdesign.life and we can talk. Without that, I appreciate your time, and we'll end it there. And you guys have a good day.